I'm trading Frank Clark and the 2022 first round pick to the Dolphins for cornerback Xavier Howard.
I may or may not have him as one of my final two. So go ahead and give your elaboration on that.
So yeah, basically the Dolphins have enough money to take on Frank Clark, and getting a first round pick would be worthwhile for them. And they could probably get a cornerback. They're not competing right now, if we're being honest, with the top tier AFC teams. So if they could get another cornerback at the end of the first round to take his spot and work into that role when maybe they can compete in a few years, that's kind of what the Dolphins are looking at. And then the Chiefs get a solid, I don't know if he a top 5 cornerback in the league.
I would say, yeah, not having watched a ton of him this season. In 2020, he was absolutely like top 3. So I would. He had 16 passes broken up and 5 picks last season. I know that does not equate film analysis, but unless he was a train wreck this year, I would still probably put him close to that, if not right at 5.
Yeah. So I think that's worth it for the Chiefs for a late round, first round pick, and getting rid of the Frank Clark contract to be able to pick up a solid cornerback. So that's my thoughts on it.
I love it. And the cap hits for the next 3 years in his age 29, 30, 31 seasons, 16.4 million, 15.3 million, and 13.5. They decline instead of rise, which is not always the case with contracts. I like that for the Chiefs. 20 passes broken up, 10 picks in 2020. Sorry, I misread that. So it was in 2020, 20 and 10, 16 and 5 last season. One heck of a player. Dude, he'd be a huge investment, but also a significant upgrade at cornerback. It'd give the Chiefs a 3-headed monster of Snead, Howard, and Rashad Fenton, or whoever they wanted to put there at the slot, or the third cornerback position, rather. Snead probably still sticking in the slot unless they wanted to put him on the outside. They'd have some flexibility. Possible draft pick addition too, whether it be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, even their final pick. I like Xavier Howard. He was my number 1 because I think not only is it at least somewhat realistic, there were talks last offseason of should the Chiefs trade for Xavier Howard. He's one heck of a player. He's not old by any means. He hasn't always been the happiest as a member of the Miami Dolphins. So, man, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and if he could come to the Chiefs, you wouldn't have to re-sign Ward. I know some people, I wouldn't re-sign Ward if they can't get a trade, or, I mean, even if they draft a cornerback, I'd still maybe try to bring back Ward if the money's okay on it. But yeah, if you bring Howard in, you wouldn't have to bring Ward back. So that would be a solid trade-off, I think.
I'm going to give my last one, and then I'll kick it back to you, Mark. Does that sound good?
All right. Sounds good.
This one, these are under my creative long shot categories. One of them was Xavier Howard. One of them, although I do think the Howard one's more realistic than a pure long shot. Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans. If the Chiefs lose Tyrann Mathieu, that's obviously my assumption here. If they don't lose Mathieu, there's no reason to get him. Cap hits of 15.8 million, 17.4, 15.6, pretty similar to what a Mathieu contract may look like. He'll be 29, 30, 31. Again, pretty similar to what Matthew's going to be. He might be 1 year behind Mathieu. 13 passes broken up, 2 forced fumbles, 5 picks in 2021. He was an all-pro, Pro Bowler. He could replace Mathieu, not completely, but I think Kevin Byard, man, one of my favorite players, does well deep in the box. He's a ball hawk. He's a good leader. He plays hard. He's intelligent. If the Chiefs wanted to do their best effort at replacing Tyrann Mathieu, you can't get that in a draft pick, at least in year 1. I think that this might be a suitable or close to it replacement for him.
I'm glad you went this direction because I didn't even want to think about losing Tyrann Mathieu yet. I know I'm going to have to at some point here in the next month or so, but yeah, that's a solid replacement, solid pick there. Like I said, I didn't even look at safeties because I didn't want to go there yet, but that was a solid pick by you, Jordan.